It's Laura Eubanks of Design for Serenity with your succulent tip of the day, and it's day one in Pasadena on a 6-day mega maintenance / cactus garden installation. Very, very exciting stuff afoot. I've got new people coming on, new crew members to introduce you to. I may have to stop the video from time to time as crew members start arriving. There's a whole lot going on today, but we are going to show you all the things. This has been 6 years in the making up here. This is phase 6, and you can really get a sense of how things have grown and matured, how things have worked and maybe not worked. So we'll start out here. With an area that I put in. This is one of the, I think this was phase 2. Yeah, very run-a-mucky, very run-a-mucky. You know, it's so cute when you look back, because I did some things then that I don't do now. I've evolved, I've learned, you know, like this, this crassula, I don't remember what it's called, whatever, but this thing gets very, very run-a-mucky. See this? I don't love. Now, yes, this is a tough plant that in times of the year that are not really hot, you can cut it and reset the cuttings. So sure, or you could bonsai it if you like that look. But for our purposes, I'm really looking to encourage the ovatas, the undulatas, the sunburst aeoniums, the things that I know that I can keep in check. We don't want or need a lot of height here. And look, it's Haley neighbor. Hi, Haley. Okay, moving on. I'd like to introduce you to Christine, new DFS team member extraordinaire. And look, her first like 15 minutes on the job, she has gotten rid of all this anti-syphilitica that at the time seemed like a good idea. In retrospect, probably wasn't. It's a sedge and it runs, and it's, you can see what a hot mess it is over here. They were so cute. No, I don't, no. So this, remember, it's important to make mistakes because you don't learn anything when you're getting it right. I have learned not to use this. So what we will do is Christine's removing all of it. Then we're taking out the Cameronii, cutting them because we like to do that. So they'll turn red. And Cameronii is also, as you know, a bush aloe, so they grow rather rapidly too. And by beheading them every few years, we can control the size, and they'll turn red. So bonus. Here is our design space for the new cactus garden. I have the most epic specimens coming from Brandon at Desert Theater. You guys are going to be blown away. I've got Haley and Cullen right now removing these ancient boxwood hedges. They, yeah, we are changing the vibe in this garden, and really the only purpose of the boxwoods right now is job security for the gardeners. So that's going to open up the design space and make the whole area look and feel a lot bigger. The pathway that Hannah's standing on right now has been in DG for years, but every time it rains, the DG runs down the hill. So our client is going to have her contractor brick this pathway when we're done doing our installation. So phase 1, the first time we came up, we installed this area along the drive, and this is an area that was the Bermuda Triangle for our client. She could not get anything to grow here ever. So I said succulents, and yeah, so check out this Euphorbia balsamifobia. I'm going to be getting in here and shaping this because it's just absolutely run amok. And something super interesting that Hannah pointed out while we were over here looking. Check out underneath. There's a giant barrel cactus under there, and it rotted with all the rain we had. But look at all of the babies are fine. So we'll get that rotted mom out, and we will remove the pups from her, and she will live on through them. So I see 4 or 5 pups. So that's really exciting news. Look at that euphorbia sap. This euphorbia sap from the balsamiferia doesn't bother me.
None of the sap ever bothers you.
Well, some sap does, but this in particular is very mild. Okay, then I think this is by far one of the largest Aloeferox I've ever seen, and I'm really hoping and praying that it's kind of done and that it's not going to get much bigger. It's okay right now, but if it gets any bigger, we're going to have a problem. This barrel is absolutely fine, did not rot. This trigona back here doesn't look the greatest, does it? It's sad. I think I'm going to dig that out and plant it somewhere else and see if it doesn't like it better in a new spot. There was a giant Titanota, agave Titanota right here that bloomed out, and our client's gardeners got that out for us. And I've got another sort of look-alike that we got from Waterwise Botanicals that will go in its space.
From my fair display.
Yeah, from Hannah's fair display. Did that get used in your fair display? Oh, good. So it's going to come out of that pot easy. Okay. Or did you plant it in the pot? Oh, darn it. Okay. Well, here you go. Another cautionary tale. Have you got a slope that you need coverage on? Well, may I introduce you to Portulacaria afra variegata, the greatest ground cover in the world. This was one plant, one 5-gallon plant 6 years ago, and look what it has done. And I have pruned this from time to time. So yes, I need to get in here and really go after that. Here's some more of that Euphorbia antisyphilitica. Ugh. And see, the thing is, it's coming up over here, it's coming up back there, it's coming up over here. It's just
bamboo.
Yeah, it's way too run-a-mucky. We will be doing something else there. And I'm also going to be removing this Pachypodium lemurei. It's beautiful, but once again, you know, wasn't the greatest spot. Seemed like a good idea at the time. It was a single, and it has since developed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 trunks, and it's just really, really crowded here.
If you just move that to the antisyphilitica and this to where the
Yeah, this could actually be moved here into this, Hannah suggested, into this spot where the antisyphilitica is.
I'm gonna just get scooted over to
Oh, look, it's Miguel. Yeah, Miguel, so good to see you.
Likewise.
Yay, you made it. You can just get going on those boxwoods.
Sounds good.
All right, so the only thing though about moving this here is I'm not loving it in proximity to the little Hercules.
You have to move that, is what I'm saying too.
Or we could just, what if we took the Pachypodium lemurei, put it there, and put the agave here, dug this geminifolia out, and let it take over right here.
And that's how we make decisions, people.
Yeah, and that's how it's done. On the fly, I think it's called. Another thing that we did in phase 2, which would have been 4 or 5 years ago, is this courtyard, which some of the elements still look good. This was a aloe, I think it's called dahlia, that was popular then, and I was using it a lot. I don't hate this, but it's obviously its growth habit is not bueno in this bed. But I have a couple options. I can, bless you, I can cut off all the heads and reset here or somewhere else. I'm not going to throw it away. It's a healthy plant. It's just too big. Also, I was really obsessed with the little Podatorum agaves. And again, great plant, but not really great right there. So yeah, no, that needs room. And then in the pots, you know, some are thriving, some decisions need to be made. And another thing that I didn't know, you know, didn't occur to me just 4 years ago or 5, was to be really careful what you plant in squatty pots with fat middles. Now these echeverias were a good choice because they're not heavily rooted and it'll be easy to extract them. But if you plant something in there that's got a really intensely dense root ball, like an aloe or an agave, that ain't coming out. So this, for example, is probably so root bound in there, I doubt I'll be able to get this out without breaking the pot. Now, these are really inexpensive nothing burger pots, so it's no big deal. But if you have a pretty piece of talavera or a special or expensive pot, be really mindful about those. narrow tops and fat middles. And if that's all you get out of this video, I have done you a solid. Okay, then as we move up, I did, like this little portulacaria and the ovata are very common. I can do better. So I went to Al's Botanic Wonders in Vista, just a mile from my house, and I got some Botanic Wonders. I got some beautiful one-off specimen plants to replace some of the nothing burgers that I have in the pots now. Aren't these so cool? So cool. And like this here, this is not, but again, getting it out of that pot is going to be super challenging because of the shape of the pot. And this agave colorata also, no. So got to get that out of there. And yeah, I'm just going to upgrade. As I said, some of the things that are happening in these pots are fantastic and I love them. This little little agave is very cute, very cool. What is it with me in that anti-syphilitica? Gosh. Okay, so that needs redone. This one's fine. This is kind of cute, it's just like a little ice plant, but I think it gets a pretty flower on it, so I'll let it ride. This etchy pot I'm going to let ride too because look, the pot's all cracked and patinaed, and I'm not going to be able to get anything out of that without damaging, and it's fine. This is phenomenal. This euphorbia, so pretty. That stays, this goes. I can do better here. I can do better here. This is a bunch of Allocameronii, which we have all over the garden. So I'm going to cut these up. They don't look good. I'll do something else in here. Something else in here. I don't know. This is kind of neat, right? It's got kind of a neat shape. We'll let that ride. And then, of course, what is this? A Calisto? Some sort of cactus. Starting to bloom out. Or bloom, and it's super lovely. So yeah, this is going to be a minute, but it's going to be a lot of fun. I'd like to get myself credit for these tiger jaws in these terracottas, but the client actually planted these. She loves them, and this is so hot right here, guys. The weather, so exposed. So the little donkey tail, and the tiger jaws, and then this little brevifolia and podatorums. These are great. I think these will stay nicely contained here for the foreseeable future. It's great. So these are great. Good on me. Down here, Hannah, this is one of the first pots you did by yourself of any significance. A long time ago. And look at that. It's still beautiful. Look at that. I mean, this definitely has redemptive qualities about it. Like these are Superbum, which is one of my favorites. And then there's the Jacobensii. I think it's just this lemon and lime. Maybe if this comes out to expose more of that, we might be able to reset these aloes to make this a little more proportioned, but the integrity is still there. And then this Plicatillus is really loving life in this pot.
It's like 3.
I don't know. Yeah, it's split. The heads, it's got split out, another head there and another head there. I had thought about taking that out and moving it into the yard, into the ground, and I still might. We'll see. I'm not, I don't love this coin plant in here anymore. It needed it in the early days because these were very small, but now it's a little cluttered looking. And the aeoniums.
They're happy.
This is tough because I am not here all the time. And yeah, they look good right now, but in another month, they aren't going to look good. So the question is, do I let it ride or do I deal with it? Decisions. Check out this Aeonium sunburst. You can tell if you question the exposure in a yard, just look at where the plants where are the plants? See how this aeonium has grown this way and then is curving this way? So that tells you, well, the sun right now is right overhead and it is heading that way, right? Or it's heading that way. Is it heading that way? Yeah, it's going up, 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 over, 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 over. So the hottest part of the day would be right here, and that's where this sunburst is reaching. So yeah, this needs redone. These kalanchoes have bloomed out. They're a monocarpic plant, so that is just the nature of the beast. We'll rework all of this. And then up here, this is challenging up here. This is a really shady spot. And it looks amazing right now with the aeoniums and the crassulas and a couple of aloes, you know, just for some texture. I think I'm going to let this area ride. It's very pretty still. Then in here, this was our last iteration we did a year and a half maybe ago, 2 years. And 2020. That's right. It was right before. We were just talking about COVID, but it wasn't a thing yet. So it was like early, like February or January in 2020 when we did this. That's right. So, you know, overall, everything is looking good. Just maintenance-wise, you know, like these aeonium sunbursts obviously need work. And I think I'm going to cut the heads off of these and plant them as cuttings on the shadier side.
They don't have to be there.
And then, you know, they don't, Hannah's right, I mean, they don't really need to be here, but if we decide we want them, I did get some new ones from Waterwise that we can start over. Everything, you know, all the aloes are needed deadheading. You know, we'll deadhead the barrel cactus. We'll limb up the Dracaena Draco. These older leaves are looking rough, so we'll just remove them. This agave looks stunning in this pot. The Potatorum's great. Not hating this Portulacaria. This agave variegated came with the property. I didn't plant this. I don't work with this plant just because of how massive it gets. And we're in a lower level that is accessible only by a long, we came down it together, that long narrow staircase, or coming all the way around the property. So when this decides to bloom out and throw up a 50, 30, 40, 50 foot bloom stalk, not exactly sure how that's going to work, but we'll worry about that when the time comes. The blue glow is glowing. It looks wonderful. Pilos look amazing. This Trigona is really happy. The Apontia and the Portulacaria up there look great. The Degutii looks good. Cameronii, yeah, all of this. Yes, 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 yes. Mess, mess, mess. I kind of dig this though, right?
Yeah. I love when plants hug barrels.
Yeah, when plants hug barrels, we're here for it. So this is just a little sedum. And it looks really good there. I'm gonna let that ride. This is a hot mess.
A little messy over here.
We'll tighten this all up. I don't know what's happening, but when you're not sure, just start editing. Just start taking out the things you know don't look right. And then it kind of reveals itself. This Joe Hoke has bloomed out, so that needs to go. So many options of things we can put in its place. I'm not concerned about what I'm going to put there. Not important right now. We just need to do our edits, and then we step back and look, and then we decide from there. So,
How cool these are.
yeah, we got a little mammillaria action going here in that pot. I've got some big, beautiful mammies coming up this time for the front yard. All of the blue elves need deadheaded. The Aluaudia looks good. This is that Plicatillus hybrid that Tom was selling a few years ago. We don't really know what the parentage is on that, but it's very cool. This Portulacaria needs a whip and a chair. Bertha looks good. Bainesii looks good. This, so this Hercules just fell over. It's probably just too heavy, right? Because it still has some roots and it doesn't look rotted. So I need to get that back in the ground, and I might just have to cut off one of the heads in order to do it. If it's just too top heavy, it's never going to stand up. Hannah thinks we can figure it out, but that would be one hell of a deep hole, or we'd have to stake it. And I'm not into staking plants. I'd rather just turn the cut to the back and expose the nice head. This bed, I think once we pull out some of the, you know, the little foofy doofies, Foofy doofies are fun to do in a baby garden, but as the garden matures and some of the foundation plants start to really take over the space, it's better to just remove them and open it up and just allow the specimens to shine. And that's, what we are in the midst of figuring out. You notice that these aloe bainzii look really rough. A couple of years ago, they got something. I had 3 or 4 clients whose bainzii were really struggling, and I inquired with everyone I knew, and nobody knew really what was going on. It was determined that it was probably some sort of a pest. So all of the bainzii got systemic treatments, and where, some of the limbs were lost, they are recovering. And our client has a very high tolerance. So these are staying, they're not being culled. And they'll grow out of it and be super interesting. This mangave, the beauty of the mangave is it's a cross between an agave and a manfreda. And we all know that that agaves are monocarpic, but manfredas are not. So you can just take off the blooms of your mangaves. You do not have to remove the entire plant. And what will happen is the pups will just continue to take over. Yes, this mom is going to die back, but the pups will take over in such a way that you won't even notice it.
Look at this.
Yeah, this is the rubra violacea that I was talking about. I got this at Waterwise. I got really lucky with this one. Their entire herd of these plants got really bad aloe mite, and they pulled all of them out of production. This one slipped through. And look, it's got 1, 2, 3, 4 gorgeous, big, mature pups on it. I will be harvesting those pups, cutting them off, and resetting them in other areas. This is just extremely exciting. We're really happy about that. Things like this cotyledon, it's a hot mess, it's coming out. And yeah, overall though, what is going on with that Dazzlerian longissimum? Why is it there? What was I thinking? I don't know what I was thinking. Yeah, that agave is gorge. But I don't understand why I put a Dazzlerian longissimum right there.
Well, look, you have 1, 2.
Oh, I have 3. Yeah. Yeah, no. If anything, well, I think the reason I didn't want to put it over here is it would have been a straight line. I could move it where this mangave is and put the mangave somewhere else. No, it's not a straight line. I think that's, this is a nothing burger right here. None of this is special. I'm going to move it here and rehome this stuff. Yeah. Okay, then over here, this was a smart thing we did. We put the donkey tail up there in those pots with the idea that they would just continue to spill over the years and never need any help or attention, and that's exactly what's happening. So that's super exciting. All in all, I don't hate this. This gets more shade, so the aeoniums are doing better. Most of the plants are doing better. Another little mangave that needs its head chopped off there. These are just seasonal bulbs that come up, so they'll be cleaned up. This is a massive jade, and it's now, this daisy also is kind of out of balance. I think I'm going to move this daisy right here where that blue elf is, and I don't know about the ungi, if that'll be okay there or not. Maybe, because it kind of balances. This looks great. We got a little wisteria trying to come up right there. We need to get rid of that. Toot sweet. Nice looking ferox, nice looking barrels. A really happy trigona here. I've never seen a happier Bacarnia recurvata in all my days. That looks so good. Good. All the way, good, all the way down to here. The cotyledon, not good. So I'll put something else here that's prettier, especially since this is so focal. And both of those pots and the windows are going to need replaced. But yeah, so there you have it. We got our work cut out for us. We're going to tear into it, and you can come along as we go and watch our progress. This has been Laura Eubanks of Design for Serenity with day 1 in Pasadena and your succulent tip of the day.